Okay, back once again. So we're going to be doing a PCV valve today, and on a 2012 Toyota Sienna. This is a 3.5 liter engine. PCV valves really are easy to maintain. Now, a lot of people actually do not know, but it is an actual maintenance item. Now, my van's got now 360,000 miles on it, and these are all freeway miles and a lot of rideshare miles too. So this van, especially with my foot, doesn't really help, but this van has one PCV valve that goes under the top of the cylinder heads cover on the front bank. Now it requires a 19 millimeter open end wrench. I didn't have one, but I was lucky that my pass-through was able to just barely fit the very corners of it to remove it. Now, best thing to do is to take apart the hose as well, inspect it, take it into the sunlight. What you want to do is check around the hose for any kind of sludge or anything like that may occur. Now, a PCV valve is responsible for helping your engine ventilate. In other words, it alleviates the pressure that is building up inside of your crankshaft. And at 360,000 miles, I'm not going to lie to you, I've ignored it. So what it can actually do if you do ignore it, and I'll give you all the signs of it, if I can actually throw my flash on, you'll start seeing oil leaks everywhere. And that's not good, because when the pressure of the crankshaft builds up, all this right here, that's not good. I just wiped that off. So as you can see, if you don't change your PCV valve, pressure will build up inside your crankshaft and really dirty your shit up. So this is a lesson for myself. Always change your PCV valve more or less about every 30,000 miles if you could. They're very inexpensive, $12 off, the Toyota dealership. Now, I went with the dealership because I want to make sure that, for the price that you get to pay for this part, you at least get the manufactured recommended item. So one way can actually tell that the PCV valve has gone bad when you shake it. When you shake it, you're supposed to hear a little ball kind of move. Now you can actually hear it, but it's not free sounding. So what you want to do is compare it to now what you have, a newer unit. There's the old one. I've not changed that since I can actually remember. Hold on. Sorry guys, I had to do this all with one hand. So I had to put the phone down. So as you can see, this is the part number for the PCV valve for a third generation Toyota Sienna 3.5 liter. Here's the old one. If you take a good look at it, I can't focus in. It's got a lot of nasty shit. Now, when the engine is not letting go of all the vapors from the crankshaft into the manifold to be reburned and disposed of properly, it all builds up. And what it does, it actually prevents the PCV valve from either closing or opening properly. So as you can hear, the ball's still in there moving, but it's not free sounding. And with the way it looks like, if I can get a good close-up view on this, that shit's all sludge. Excuse my San Franciscan language. Now, what we have here is the brand new one. Same measurements. Now, what you always want to do is check the part number. Part number does match the description of the old one, as you can see right there. Like I said, I didn't go aftermarket on this one because you didn't want to, you know, try to save just $1 and get something that's probably not going to work. So here's a new one, and I ain't lying to you. If you can tell on the dashboard here, 360,218. That's work, baby. The hose will go into the manifold right over here. And the manifold, of course, you know, is attached to your intake. And here's the new one. Nice and clean. Compared to the old one. Oh wait, let me get the other one in my pocket. Not good. I have to literally use more force to make that ball that's inside there jump. All right, PCV valve, which is going to go right inside here. Of course, you want to get a nice good shop rag or a good towel. Now these towels here are magic. These shop towels, I call them the blue towels. The blue towels, of course, you know, they pick up a lot of grease, stuff like that. You want to clean around it, make sure there's not going to be anything that's going to be into threading or anything like that. But you can tell here that a lot of... Oh, fuck. You can tell here that a lot of oil has seeped out and basically caked on the engine. So in due time, I will give this thing a nice good cleaning. Here's the cover that goes around it. Okay, put that back on. Like I said, this is the old one. That's not what you want. These PCV valves need to be changed, I say, about every 30,000 miles, just to give it a good, like I said, $10 peace of mind. You know what I'm saying? This way your engine can last what I just showed you up to 360. Now, always hand thread it. You never want to put it on too tight. Now, the threads of this PCV valve will be exposed to a point where you might think that it needs to go in further, but it doesn't. So, get that on. Now, like I said, I was barely lucky to get this thing around it. Just like that. Now, it doesn't require much force to put it in, but you want to go very slow to a point where it's not going to be too tight, but just tight enough. Now, like I mentioned earlier, some of the threads will be exposed, but that's okay because that's the way it's designed. But just to give it a good snugs on it, you're working to maybe about like 20 foot-pounds of torque. So just use your better judgment. It doesn't really need to be torqued on by a wrench. Just use your good judgment, just as you would like with the oil drain plug and whatnot. After inspecting the hose and making sure that it's nice and clean, you want to place it back in. You got these two little clamps, one on each side. Fit that back into your intake manifold, which is going to be, sorry for the poor focusing, but I'm trying to work with one hand here. Place that back in, and then gently put this one back on, just as so. So let's do a quick little snug fit, make sure everything's all good. Now, it's a possibility personally that I might need to go and get a new hose, because the one that I have here is cracked. Of course, you want to make sure everything's fitted right. But this is just a quick basic DIY of how to change your PCV valve on a 2012 Toyota Sienna. And trust me, the more you do it yourself, the more you save the money, because gas ain't getting cheaper. You know what I'm saying? PCV valve, 19 millimeter, open end wrench. If you have a ratcheting open end wrench, that's great. That's just basically goes along the hose here to the intake manifold. Inspect and make sure that's clean. Clean around it. As you can see here, there's been a little bit of hiccup because of my ignoring the PCV valve. Now, next mission, of course, is to search for a new hose, but for right now, I don't got one. So just try my best to keep it like that. Just pray for all good. All right. Peace.